All right, moving on to the cost report of the virtual school.
There's also a proposal, there will be a proposal at the May board meeting for virtual charter school contract. We've been working with some representatives from our school district that are interested in starting up a charter virtual school. As you can see, we expect an initial enrollment of about 23, at least 23 and as many as 30 students. We used a calculation of 25 for the first year budget. We anticipate an increase of enrollment of about 5 students each year. Those numbers are from polling data, really, people that have either expressed very strong interest or would make a commitment today if the program were in place. And again, I've run some numbers. I proposed at one of our meetings that the charter school funds, charter school be allocated funds equal to 80% of the open enrollment amount. And presently the open enrollment amount is $6,500 per year. The governor's budget is proposing that enrollment amount be increased over the next 2 years. Since that budget has not been approved, I'm using present day numbers. And so there would be an amount to the charter school and an amount to the district. Each of the next, I did a 5-year number there because the charter school contract is valid for 5 years, up to 5 years. The charter board has put out a proposal that during the first year the charter school funds would be equal to 100% of the open enrollment amount, the second year 90%, and the third year 80%, and beyond would be 80% based on the same number of students. The reason for that proposal, the startup funds the first year would be higher. They need to do things like get a library going and things like that. The reason that I've started and kept 80% level is because we will have costs to the district incurred each year, costs for things like bookkeeper costs. We have payroll costs, things like that we have annually that will keep coming. We'll have audit costs increase because we're adding another entity. Some things to think about. We're in the process of developing a contract between what would be a charter school board and the Schooner Area School District.
If they're in district students, do they get a bigger money, larger amount of money than $6,500, or is it?
No.
Because okay, just like they're open enrolling into the virtual school.
It's like that. It's difficult to figure out exactly what the fiscal impact would be to the district because some of the students we have counted for a year or 2 years or more on our rolls, so the 3-year rolling average thing would have to be calculated on an individual student basis. We have students that were here last year, not here this year, and may come back next year. So it really would have to be on an individual student basis.
Are the virtual school students allowed to participate in our school district extracurricular activities?
Yes, they are.
So they can do sports and music, and so they're not completely separated that way.
And this is different than our virtual school we have now?
Mm-hmm. It is. The programming is different. And the governance is different too, so it's better.
And then, like you said, the one, the library, is that like physical books, or is it buying computer software, or both?
Could be both.
Whatever they want to do.
Could be both. A lot of it's curriculum library materials where one family may find a particular math curriculum that works for them, and when they're after they've used it, they can put it in the library, and another family may choose to use that same curriculum. So it's a sharing library.
So who's going to negotiate the difference here? I mean, there's two different
Well-
proposals. When does that get resolved? Because this has to be done by June 1st, correct?
Well, it doesn't, it has to be done by June 7th. I'd like to have it done by the May board meeting. And it can be done by the May board meeting, we just have to decide.
This could bring quite a few kids back into our district, correct?
It could be.
So they've already got a board, correct? So that, I guess, we'll be negotiating with the board, their board. So who's going to do that?
Well,
One of our
initially I'll
committees or
be
you?
negotiating, the board president is Andrew Melton, and Andrew's here this evening. I
I mean, is this negotiable? Or
It's all
do they have a line, is there a line in the sand? Do we have a line in the sand, or?
If I'm free to talk, or the reason why we're asking for that is just the high upfront cost. You have to hire administration for it, a learning guide that you have. Then you hire, how it works is you have one day of the week that you have enrichment classes. And so you're going to have teachers for that you're going to be hiring as well. The library that you're talking about, a lot of these students are going to Hayward right now, and they've had it established for 10 years, so they have a huge library that's already established. The curriculum that you get from the state, you can't be used to buy any faith-based curriculum. And so they have a large library there that's been donated, a lot of faith-based curriculum. So most of the students that come in, their parents don't have to pay for any of the curriculum, which is a huge blessing for them. And so also rent the building. There's like one room here that we could use. By you might be able to use the gym and stuff like that, but most of the classes would be outside of this building. Cornerstone Church at this time has offered to let them use their building rent free for the first year. So that's significant help there, but there will be costs eventually for a building facility as well. So there's some significant costs there. And so that's why we're asking the 100% right away, and then the 90, 80 thereafter.
Where is the library going to be?
Well, you could possibly host it. There's one room here that's not being used that you could host it here. So like, because you need like laptops and that computer stuff and supplies and then the curriculum. So that's what we'd look at, either hosting it here in one of the rooms, or we'd try to find a room at Cornerstone as of right now. Ideally, I'd like to have it here. But that's all, I mean, negotiable.
So is this kind of like the chicken and the egg thing? We have to decide if we're going to go forward with the charter school, or decide if we're going to have a contract with them, kind of like the 4K thing also?
Kind of.
Is it?
I'll be proposing a contract at the next board meeting. One of the reasons is that we have a number of students that are open enrolled to the Hazel Charter School right now, and they need a commitment by June 1st. And so we need to know whether Spoon Area School District is committing to this program, and if not, a lot of those students would go back to the Hazel.
Andrew's still going to coach wrestling, right?
Well, he's not,
Yeah,
he's still teaching here.
My kids will still come to public school. I'll still be teaching here. I just have felt for the last several years of trying to bridge the gap between homeschooled families and public school. There are a lot open enrolled out, and I'd like to see that change. And so that's really my heart for it.
No, I appreciate that. That's
Right.
very
No,
good.
I think it's a wonderful thing. But I just want to make sure that on the May 20th board meeting, there will be a proposal here, and you guys will have come to an agreement between these two proposals so that we'll have something to vote on. Correct?
Well, the agreement would really be, I'd like to see you guys decide, that's what we proposed. We voted on that. That's what we proposed to you guys. So that's why I'd like for you guys to be able to discuss that and decide if that amount is possible or not. And I have in those numbers as far as the 20 to 25, we haven't, because of what you were saying earlier as far as letting people know, we haven't said it's going to happen for sure. That was families that said if it would happen, we are committed. It's a small group right now. The word is getting out a little bit just by people saying it, but we haven't advertised it at all, we haven't spread the word, so personally, I think those numbers could increase pretty rapidly. Probably more so the following year because open enrollment dates are already over with as far as people, all the districts would like to open enroll. So those that are homeschooling right now that aren't a part of any district, those are the ones that, most likely you could see those numbers increase.
You've done a lot of work on this, thank you. You can tell.
You're welcome.
It looks like the first 2 years are the rest of them are the same. So it'll be the first 2 years
And Andrew and I will be together.
if we believe this is a good thing for the school district, we may have to fund it.
Do you have any idea how many homeschoolers who have not open enrolled into another program would come on board for this?
There's
Any head count?
5 on the head count that said for sure, yes, that they would. But just somebody today even just talked to me, said that they know of a couple people right now that would like to do it. Again, those aren't for sure ones. And then we have numbers of some open enrolled people that have open enrolled as right now that aren't a part of those 25 that have open enrolled just in case there's some glitches there that we have to work out yet.
So
The DPI.
So if we get 5 who are in the district now who are homeschooling and not enrolled in any other program, we're going to get an extra $2,500 from those people per pupil at some point, correct?
At some point.
A third, 2/3, a full share. So that helps sweeten the pot a little bit, doesn't it?
Are we talking K through 12 or pre-K through 12? What are we talking for?
K through 12. The first year, the enrichment classes, we're looking at probably just doing K-8, just because of the numbers. We probably wouldn't do any enrichment classes for high schools. They'd be allowed if they do any field trips or something, they could do K-12, but.
Any other questions?
So how do we
There's no
prove the
decision to be made.
negotiations or whatever? I
Well,
guess
I'm
not sure
just
of
giving
that.
you a heads up that I'm going to be working with Andrew and their board on negotiating, and a proposal will come to the Board of Education on May 20th.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?